Sports presents.
Oh, baby. What's going on, man? We're ready to talk some more sports with one of my favorite guys in the world, Sizzle.
AJ Sizzle, you know what we've come to do. We've come to bring the people the hotness. So let's get ahead and just get going, man. Let's just do it because we got to give the people something. Because we got to talk about people who aren't doing their job, but maybe they are, but I don't know. Some people need to.
Everyone has to do their job.
Oh,
do your job.
Wrong coach, Tom. wrong team, Tom. You stay where you are.
Yep. You stay right over there in New York. You stay in the Big Apple. Because we've got some rotten things going on right here in Chicago at the Madhouse in Madison. It's really not a madhouse. It's just like madness on Madison. Yeah. So let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. Let's talk about a total disaster. What can we say about the Bulls? Wonderful Bulls team that was the recipient of terrible play by the Washington Wizards in a back-to-back.
Yeah, they look great. They look great against them. I mean, you know.
Oh, they were amazing. They were amazing.
We got doubles going. We got we got game winners happening. We got all types of stuff going on.
Yeah, and then they went to Milwaukee.
Wow.
And
the two-time MVP.
Have you ever seen a big deer walk across the street and you're driving and you think maybe I can get around him, and he just stops and looks at you? And you stop and look at him, and then you realize maybe I should go another way. Maybe it's not. I don't think it's even worth what's getting ready to happen. I think that's what happened to the Bulls. I think they took the baby Bulls there, and they got bucked. And I mean bucked by Giannis Antetokounmpo. Shout out to Mr. Williams. Patrick Williams did an amazing job trying to defend the animal.
With a capital T. They look. They broke it down. Where did I have that? I had it somewhere. I'll find it. They had him actually guarding Giannis for 3.5 total minutes of the game, and Giannis scored 12 points on him.
Yeah,
it was a bushwhacking.
Welcome to the league. Happy 2021.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
It was a beatdown.
Yeah. It was, but the most devastating thing out of all of this is the Bulls have been COVIDed. Yes, they have been COVIDed 20. This is COVID 20 that's roaming around the Bulls, as in 4 players are out for the Bulls, key rotational players, and Lauri Markkanen has a calf strain pull. He's out indefinitely.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Jay.
What else?
Yeah, man, I don't even know. It's sad because Lauri, every time you think Lauri is going to start looking better and things are going to get brighter and it's going to really work, and then he Lauri's something.
He's not durable. You can't build around him. It's always something's happening.
Right.
You know, he explodes for a game and then he implodes for 3. You know, he's just never been consistent enough. I would love to see Lauri just be that, that 2010 guy. You know, every day you're going to get that 20, 22 out of him. He's going to give you 8 or 9 boards, maybe give you some assists. But he's not that guy. And he's just one of those guys with the Bulls. I just don't think you can build your team around, but they have no other choice. I mean, they picked a point guard who's not a point guard. He looks good against bad teams, but then all of a sudden you get against real point guards who know how to play the game, and all of a sudden he doesn't know how to throw the ball to anybody. So I don't know what they're going to do with this ball club.
And it's funny. Zach is not a point guard. As much as he can bring the ball up, he's still not a distributor. You've got Wendell Carter there, who is making his threes burly, but I don't know. I'm kind of confused because I'm looking at Wendell Carter and I'm thinking you got a better center sitting on the bench. You got a better center sitting on the bench. You have a better center that fits what you want to do sitting on the bench. Literally, there's a better center sitting on the bench.
But I think what's happening is Billy Donovan is making his point now. He's going to play all of these guys. Okay. You drafted them. I'm putting them out here. I'm going to show you they can't play the positions that you drafted them for. So when you tell me I have to keep Kobe White next year or the year after, I'm going to tell you, no, I'm moving him. When you come and tell me that Wendell Carter Jr. is the guy who's going to be leading this ball club, and I'm going to say, has he shot it? I want him to stretch out to 5 and shoot the ball from outside. He ain't shot a shot from out there since I don't know when. So I think right now, he's there, going out there, guys. That's the reason why I don't think you see Billy get upset. They got shellacked first game out. Shellacked. And Billy just like, I told you. I'm going to play this point guard that you guys brought. Because you got to remember, none of this coaching staff and none of this front office, these are none of their players right now. Mm-hmm. The only player that's their player is Patrick Williams. He's the only one. And right now, I'm sort of questioning that a little bit, to tell you the honest truth. I mean, he's been decent for us, but when you put him up against the league's best, Giannis, just like LeBron, is going to make anybody look bad, but that was a beatdown of epic proportions. I mean, you're trying to guard this guy, but we see all of a sudden, the 19-year-old just doesn't have the strength yet. And is he going to have the strength to be able to compete against guys like that? Because his position comes with guys like that every night.
But he's 19, Jay. He's 19, had no help. There was no defense on the string. There was no rotation. Wendell Carter still has not figured out how to rotate over and say, hey, I might leave my man because I see my man's out here on an island and he's getting cooked. He was barbecue chicken all night long.
Right.
Giannis started slow. But then he said, oh, you just going to play me? Oh, you're going to play me one up? Just man on? Just me and the kid? Okay.
This is Giannis, 29 points and not trying to get 29 points. He wasn't like, I'm going to go in here and just explode on people. He was just being Giannis. You know what I'm saying? And Giannis without a jump shot. This was all just breaking people down around the rim and taking them to the basket. What I'm saying is that at some point in time, as a young fella, you got to show that you can stop Giannis if you need to, that you can go and lock him down, that you can go out here and battle with him, that you are going to put an elbow in his chest, that you are going to go out here and get a little ticky, that he's backing you down like this, and let's have some fight. Let's have a battle. I've yet to see the young Bulls yet really go out here and fight. I don't think you got a fighter on this team right now. I don't think you got a Bobby Portis on this team. I don't think you got a guy like that's going to just go to war. And that's what you need right now. You need somebody that's going to go to war. You don't have that guy on this ball club. It's not Otto Porter Jr. It's not any of these guys. Definitely not Lauri Markkanen. It's not either one of your guards. It's not any of these guys who just have that grittiness that just says, I'm not taking a butt whooping. Because that Milwaukee Bucks game reminded me a lot of the first two games that the Bulls played. They were outclassed, and they knew they were outclassed, and they were getting their, starts with an A, whooped out there, and there was no answer for it. And that's my biggest problem. You look good against a bad team, but when you get against a good team, you got to at least look good. Against a great team, you got to look good. And you saw Kobe White. I would say you saw him, again, dribbling the ball off his shoe. I don't think he only had 3 assists or something like that. Throwing the ball all over the place, high turnovers. So again, I don't know. It's just the happiness that you had against and we all knew that team that they played the back-to-back against were really bad. But now you're looking at a team that you see that they're not going to be able to compete in the East at the high level. If they go in and 8th seed against the Bucks, they're going to get swept before the tip-off. They're going to throw the ball up in the air, the ref's going to catch the ball, and he's going to call the game over because they don't have a chance.
I don't even have a comeback because I'm thinking in my head, I was like, can you get swept in a series at the beginning of the series?
Yeah, they could just call what was that? Mulligan, not a mulligan. They could just when you were a little kid and you were playing baseball, the slaughter rule.
Yes,
like the slaughter rule. Yeah, they're going to do the slaughter rule in the first quarter. They're down by 30. If they get run by 30 in the first quarter, we're just calling the rest of the game.
Yeah,
and we're gonna put on the world. We're gonna put on the World Cornhole Championships after that.
Yeah, they almost. It wasn't as bad as what they did to Miami. That was of biblical epic proportion when you just shoot 54 threes and you're almost 60% from the field and you do whatever you want. But it was almost as bad with the Bulls. It was almost as bad. Like you just had Giannis getting into the paint and breaking down everybody. The defense had no answer, and just three shooters were just sitting back there. Some of them I think were on the bench. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't believe they were on the court. They passed them the ball on the bench, and they shot from the bench.
Well, and to think about it too, now how are the Bulls missing some guys? Yes, are they missing Lauri Markkanen? Are they missing Archie? Are they missing, was it Sato? They're missing somebody else?
Yeah, you're missing a large chunk of your rotation.
Would it have made a difference?
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. And this is it. So it would have made a difference. If they ran Sato out there, they were going to get abused. If they ran Lauri out there, I think the beatdown would have been worse. Because now you'd have had Lauri trying to defend Giannis at some point in time, and God help us on that, he might have went for 50.
Yeah.
So
just because he made him mad, like because he stepped on his shoe.
Yeah, it's just ugly. It's just ugly.
We text earlier, and we talked about it with the Washington game.
Yeah.
And you had already made the comment, and I think we talked about it before.
Yeah.
The John Wall and this Bradley Beal thing. It's not going to work.
You're talking about Westbrook.
I'm sorry, Westbrook. Beal and Westbrook, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's not good. Look, I don't like it.
Bradley Beal made a couple of moves. I mean, put people in the spin cycle. Sugar, just dancing like a little fairy over sugar plums. But they can't play with two basketballs at one time. And like I said before, Westbrook is so frenetic, so just wild when he's dribbling the basketball that he doesn't look to give anybody else into play. If you're not playing his tempo, he's not going to pass you the ball. So it ain't going to work.
I'm just wondering at this point, as we're throwing it out there, because if the Bulls are this bad, we're going to have to come up with trade scenarios all year. So I'm wondering, is this an opportune time for you to maybe say to Washington, look, we know this Bradley Beal thing ain't going to work, okay? But we've got Lauri, and we've got Zach, and maybe Kobe. You want maybe a three-fer? You want
for what?
Three-fer?
For who?
I just told you. Lauri, Zach, Kobe, Wendell. Who do you want? Just tell me.
For who?
For Bradley Beal. That's just whoever you want. Anybody on the team. Just tell me. You want a 5 for 1?
Bradley Beal is still not your answer because he's still a ball-dominant guard. The way Billy Donovan wants to run is he wants to be able to share the wealth, guys to shoot the ball when they're open. He needs a big like one of the Lopez brothers to get out there who'll shoot the 3 ball for you. We see a guy like that can just pay wonders for you. This is what Billy Donovan is looking for is an offense that's going to be predictable every night. These ball-dominant guards that they have to go one-on-one, those offenses are not predictable. And you saw the same thing happen with James Harden. You see the same thing happen with Westbrook. And now you've seen the same thing happen with the Chicago Bulls, that this team is not going to be consistent.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know how you get any consistency. I don't know what you do to get consistency. Okay, so you keep rotating everybody out. You have your back rotation of Sato, now Garrett Temple, Thad Young. You throw a little bit of maybe a Denzel in there for a minute, Chandler Hutchison for a little bit. And then you got my man, the rim protector, the best center on the Bulls right now. And yeah, I still don't see how you win anything with Daniel Gafford there.
You just got a bunch of G League guys playing right now for the Bulls. You know, I mean, that to me, you got guys who could come off the bench for some teams, but which guy on the Bulls right now can start for any of the top 5, 6 teams in either conference right now? Mm-hmm. I want to say not one.
Not even Otto?
Could start for the top teams in the East. Any of the top teams in the East.
God. the Nets.
Could he? I mean, let's take a look at it because I really even prepared a question. Let's look who the top teams are in the East.
Well, let's look at it. Let's just look at the top teams and let's just see where the Bulls would fall right now. I don't know where they would fall because I don't know what they have right now. I really don't. And it sounds ridiculous the way I'm saying it. But if you're looking at the top teams,
all right. So here we go. Let's take a look at it. Then. All right. So you got the Milwaukee Bucks number 1.
Right.
All right. Then we go to look at the Brooklyn Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Boston Celtics. Or anyone? Are any one of our guys going to start over anybody on the Boston Celtics?
Yeah. Yeah, this is bad.
Let's look at the Philadelphia 76ers. Any one of our guys start over anybody the Philadelphia 76ers?
No.
Well, let's look at the Miami. Let's look at the Miami Heat.
No.
Anybody start over anybody that start? Let's go. Now we get down to the Toronto Raptors after that. Let's look at the Miami Heat starting lineup. Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Give me a second here. Eastern Conference. Let me see what their roster looks like. All right. Let's see. So we're going to talk about.
Look at some of the rosters. I mean, if you look at the Eastern Conference, I don't believe Philly at 4-1 is as good as they're a 4-1 team, and I really don't believe the Magic are a 4-1 team that are heavy contenders.
So let's look at this. Let's look at this Heat roster, right? So you got Bam, Adebayo. Ain't no wild guards. Avery Bradley. One of our guards starting over Avery Bradley? Nope.
Nope.
What about Jimmy Butler? That's an absolute no. Goran Dragic. Anybody starting over here? Nope. Will you take will you Maurice Harkless? You want to trade any of our guys? Is anybody on our team playing better than Maurice Harkless?
I would maybe say I could put an auto in Maurice Harkless's spot.
Okay, so let's keep it going. We're not going to talk about Udonis Haslem. He's just old man Rivers, still been doing what he's been doing. Now you're talking about Tyler Hero?
Nope.
Andre Iguodala? Nope.
No.
Myers Leonard? Nope.
No.
Kendrick Nunn? One of our guards better than Kendrick Nunn?
None of our Bulls are better than Kendrick Nunn.
Okay. I don't know who this guy is. Let's look at Kelly Olynyk. You want one of our guys over Kelly Olynyk? That's a possibility right there.
I take Daniel Gafford over Kelly Olynyk.
Okay. You're Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson is in nope. Chris Silva. Nope. Max Strux. Yeah, you're going way down on the bench right now. So you look at that team right, that Miami Heat. That ain't going to happen. Now you got the Toronto Raptors. Let's go take a look at the Raptors. Haven't looked them up yet either.
Things are going on with the Raptors. I don't know what's going on with the Raptors. I know that you just had Siakam suspended for he was benched for disciplinary reasons. I'm not really sure what's going on with them right now, but let's look at their roster. Let's look at some of the things going on in their roster. OG Anunoby, Aaron Baines, DeAndre Pembry, Chris. Okay, so maybe Brimbury, Butcher, Terrence Davis, maybe Stanley Johnson, Norman Powell. I guess.
We're down to the seventh team in the East. Then we barely can start thinking about the Bulls have players who could possibly be better than they are.
Right.
That's where we're at right now. Pascal Siakam's going to ball you out. Kyle Lowry, right. I'll still take him over the Bulls. Fred VanVleet, still take him. Who else they got over here? That's about it.
Yeah.
So you still
In fact, in that Atlantic Conference, and right there with Philly, Brooklyn, Boston, and New York and Toronto, the only team that you could put on par with the Bulls would be the Knicks. That would be it.
yeah, maybe.
And and the Knicks probably have some better players.
So let's look
I don't know.
here. So that
I'm
let,
not too excited.
let's take a gander. Let's just take a gander here through the West just for our ha-has. Let's see what we got for the Western Conference. So you got the number one
You're
team
funny.
right now. You got the Suns, you got the Clippers, Lakers, nah. Jazz, nope. Pelicans, nope. Trailblazers, nope. Rockets, nope. Kings, no. Spurs,
Yeah, okay. Now, all right. That's your gateway. Your entry into the Western
let's
Conference
look at the Spurs.
would be the Bulls are comparable to the Spurs,
Maybe.
which is your ninth seed,
Yeah,
right?
so you're not even making the playoffs
And
in the West. You're not
we
sniffing the
don't
playoffs in the
believe
West.
no, but we don't believe Dallas is this bad where they're seated. Memphis,
No, of
I
course
do
not.
believe the Timberwolves are that bad. Um, and I really you can't. The Nuggets, no, 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 no.
Yeah, so
I don't
anyway.
even believe the Pelicans are as good as they say as their record shows.
The Pelicans,
No.
dude. If Zion stays healthy, the Pelicans are going to be nasty.
But I don't see Zion staying healthy, and I don't see them
You don't
in
like
a
that.
series.
You don't like that Lonzo Ball at point.
I mean, I'm not bullish on it. Let's see what I did right here.
That's pretty good.
I'm not bullish on it myself. I'm saying if out of this top 8, if there was one team I would look at, the first team to come out would either be Sacramento or the Pelicans. And I would replace them with Dallas or Denver. I think as the season plays out, that's where you would go. But no. Your gateway into the West, again, would be at San Antonio. And San Antonio might be better than the Bulls at this point. So,
Yeah. So you got a situation where you're looking at a Bulls team who doesn't have a shot.
they don't have an identity. As
Yeah.
Billy Donovan said, they don't have an identity. And big shout out to Becky Hammond for starting to take the job over when Pop decided he wanted to go and get
He wanted
large.
to he wanted to go get a cheeseburger. He was like, I'm tired of this. Go here, you take it over, Becky. He probably went at the ref time. All right, I'm getting ready to go. Hey, you know what? Your breath stinks. You're out of here. All right, see you later. Hey, Becky, take it over.
Say, hey, Bex, I'll be upstairs. We got a hot wing bar up there.
Yeah.
Just holler if you need me. I'll be in my office. We got a bucket of wings when you get finished. Okay. All right. See.
Yeah, so I mean, you just really look at a Bulls club as if they're playing against the bottom feeders in the league, they're going to look pretty decent. I don't know if you see a guy on this team right now who's going to be there when the Bulls become champions again. I'm going to say that guy's not even on this team right now.
No. Not champions again unless they just keep Patrick Williams forever and he becomes like Jonas Haslam is just there.
I'm not super sold. I mean, I like the kid, I really do. I just didn't see superstar on him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see a number 4 pick on him. I just didn't see that. I see a real steady type of guy who's going to be real steady for you, and I guess you do need a building block that's like that. But if you get opportunity to get a guy that's going to splash. Like, look at what was that Hachimura the other day?
Yeah, Rui Hachimura is good, but there was no Rui Hachimura. The closest you were going to get to Rui was probably Denny Avdija, and I think Denny, Patrick Williams, let's push either way with either of them. I think there'll be guys who will be in the league about 10 years. have a really good.
that's
And
true.
Patrick Williams being younger, he might have a long leash. Patrick Williams, you may not even see the best of him to maybe year 10, 12. Who knows? I don't know. But what I do know is this. I do know that, in Billy Donovan's words, the Bulls have no identity. They have not set forth an identity as to how they're going to play and what they're going to do as they play. So those are two things. And then the third thing, the biggest thing, is that you don't have the requisite players needed. I mean, the Denzel Valentines, the Chandler Hutchisons, those are all cute. Now, yes, Giannis was not a top 10 pick. Grant, he was not. But he matured into something else. His trajectory is different than what we've seen for Chandler Hutchison, Denzel Valentine, where you get incrementally better. Yeah. I don't think Denzel's gotten better. I don't think Chandler Hutchison has gotten better. Neither of them can stay healthy. They should get the Injured Bull Award of the year, because they're always vying for who's going to be injured most and next.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing we were talking about it off camera with Laurie. There is no consistency with Laurie. It just, I mean, every time you think, okay, this is going to be great, and then now he's out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he just can't stay healthy. And then when he comes in, he's just not that impactful of a player. You don't see Laurie coming in and taking over ball games. And that's what you need right now. You need somebody to lead this ball club. You don't have that guy here. You don't have a guy here to teach these, young guys or the young guy to lead. We don't have that guy here. We don't have, and I hate to throw these guys out there, but you don't have even a Kobe Bryant who was throwing the ball off his feet when he first got in the league. But Kobe wasn't afraid. He was going to go get his baskets. And that's what a Kobe White needs to do. And just be unafraid. If you get boomed, you just get boomed. But he's got to be, he needs to be making the play. And I just don't know if he's a guy who's ever played point guard enough, and can he learn on the job fast enough for the Bulls to be any type of contender. I mean, I really think right now Billy Donovan is just playing a bunch of guys right now so he can get guys out on the trading blocks.
Right. Well, okay. Before we get ready to go, two things. We've got to establish, number one, what is Zach LaVine? And number two, what is the identity for these Bulls? So the first question should be easy, but it hasn't been easy to answer over these few seasons. What is Zach LaVine?
He's I don't know if he's Robin. He's definitely not Batman. You know what I'm saying? Look, Zach LaVine's a very good ball player. I like Zach LaVine, but he's just not the guy that's going to lead your ball club. He's not that guy. They needed a guy to come in here and lead. I think he would definitely be a guy, a co-killer. You know what I'm saying? He's not the guy you want to play in the caper, but he's the guy you can take with you because he's going to go hold up his end. I think he's on a really good. What I hope for Zach LaVine is that he gets out of here and he get his opportunity to play on a good ball club that he might have opportunity to win a championship on. Because as long as he stays here with the Bulls, he's never going to have that chance here. So, but he's just not a guy you're going to build your team around, because he's a guy who's built on pure athleticism. He has a skill set, but it's not like all these guys are in the lab. Don't get me wrong. All these guys are shooting 500 jumpers a day. All these guys are working on their game every day. Mm-hmm. But you don't look at Zach LaVine's game and go, wow, look how special that is. You don't look at that guy, man, look at him break people down. You don't look at him like, oh, the jumper's just too sugar. You don't look at that and see that he does something special. His specialty is that he is a freak athlete who can play basketball pretty well. And if he gets one-on-one, but if you wall him off and now you force him to be the facilitator and don't have the people around him that can hit an open jump shot, then Zach LaVine becomes, for lack of a better word, pedestrian. That's when you see the 12, 13, 14-point games out of Zach LaVine, and he goes quiet. Now, the other night, he hit the potential game winner? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to take the shot, but that's against a bad team. What happens when he goes up against good teams? He gets shut down.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So what is the identity, though, that Billy Donovan is looking for. And I think you alluded to it earlier by saying you want movement, you want the open shooter to take the ball, you want cutters, you want backdoors, you want a utilitarian, everybody utility play. Everybody gets a shot, everybody can shoot, everybody can do their thing. How do you get that with what you have here on this Bull squad? Because to me, Jay, that seems like you're talking about a full-blown rebuild. I mean, you're talking about from the studs up. That's a full-blown get shooters in, get passers in, get basket high IQ people. How do you do that? How do you start doing that?
Look, well, the biggest problem you got to do right now is that you got to get some stability in here. Guys who are going to play and give you their points every night.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play every night NBA starter minutes. This is what you need to have. That's what you got to build around. We don't have guys like that. You got young guys right now still trying to find their way. We don't have a stable backcourt. You know, Kobe White's still trying to figure out how to pass the basketball. You got Zach LaVine, who isn't really sure when to attack, what he's looking at, how to break down different defenses. You don't really see. You see Zach LaVine talking. I'm not saying he's not trying. Don't get me wrong, but he's one of these guys who are just in a bad position because he doesn't have the help around him. They brought in some of these veterans, but these veterans weren't really just able to stay in the starting lineup to help him. They needed to bring in a starting point guard, but it's very possible that they were like, oh, that money that we got tied into Kobe right now, that early contract money, we got to see if we're going to sign him for money later on. Because I think, what's it, the third year? That third year is when they start that extension. So I think they're probably looking at right now, are they going to keep Kobe White or are they going to move Kobe White? I think they're going to try to move Kobe White. So you're looking at a ball club right now that there's no stability on this ball club because you don't have a proven NBA day in, day out player on this ball club that's going to be there for 5 years. You don't have that guy yet. So are they still looking for those guys? Yeah. Are they going to trade to get those guys in? Probably. Can you go get some guys maybe from the Spurs? Can you try to go get a Patty Mills in here? Make something work like that and try to get something figured out? You know, that's what I would look at. Try to get somebody in like that from the Spurs. Maybe they want a deal. Maybe they want to get younger. There's a lot of different things that you can do. So from that standpoint, but until you get somebody in there like that, who's a rock solid pro from a rock solid program who has that background to steady the ship, this ship, every time the waves go, this ship is going to capsize.
That's an excellent way to leave it. Every wave, okay, every wave, it's going to cause capsation because there's no anchor to rudder them through. Hey, I like it. I like it. I like that.
Wouldn't you like to see a Tim Hardaway Jr. here?
I'd like to see anybody here, but a little bit of what we have. I'd like to see some more rookies here. You talked about the Spurs. I'd like to see Devin Vassell here. I'd like to see, if you're going to do all rookie, if you're going to bust it down, to your point, let Zach go, man. Let Zach be free.
Well, you got to get something. You got to get something for Zach.
Yeah,
but the problem is, you got to get something for him that's going to look. Zach would be fine if he had a real point guard. And I'm not holding that against Kobe White. He's an experiment. You can have an experiment running your team right now. When I saw Zach LaVine bringing the basketball up the first game of the year, I knew then the Bulls had no identity who was going to play their point guard position. Because the first possession of the year, that should be in the hands of your quarterback. To me, that was, you might as well just came out first game of the year in football and ran the Wildcat. You don't see that. Put the ball in your point guard's hands and let your point guard run the show. And they didn't do that. You know, and that was sort of sad right from the beginning. You know? It's just like, look, man, if you look at like a Dennis Smith Jr., you know what I'm saying? Maybe Kevin Knox try to bring somebody in there. Now, Dennis Smith, a guy you want to go like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of, but you want to put somebody in here that's going to be solid for you, you know? So,
well, maybe that person is going to be Devin Dotson. He got his start against Milwaukee. He got his first NBA points. Not start, but start to his career. He got to showcase himself. And Devin Dotson could possibly be your Bulls point guard.
Yeah. So you're gonna need somebody.
He was great. I mean, he was good at Kansas. Now that you can't take away from him. So
and the thing about Dennis Smith, he's been a reach, but he has more potential than Kobe White. You know what I'm saying? If he could get it together, that's a guy who has way more potential than Kobe White. Kobe White right now, I think we're seeing him play at his maximum.
You don't think there's any ceiling for him? You think he's there?
I think the saving grace for Kobe White right now is that he's got the green light to shoot the 3 ball whenever he wants to. And we saw him let it fly. That game against the Wizards, he looked great. The other game, I think he went 3 for 13 or something like that. I think it was like 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 from the arc. So I've seen him just pull up and fire, but that's what 2 guards do. 2 guards pull up and fire unless you're from a West Coast team that have the Golden Arches, had the Golden Gate Bridge on their uniform. That's the only point guard I know that has the green light. Or you're from Atlanta with a big hawk on there, and you're able to shoot that 3-pointer whenever you get ready. But you've earned the right to shoot that 3-pointer whenever you get ready. Kobe White hasn't earned that right yet.
Yep. Well, I know what we have earned, and that is the opportunity to have another year with our audience and those who have been fan faithfuls and have supported us by liking, subscribing, and sharing to Iron Skillet Sports on all social media platforms, be it Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are there, and especially at YouTube. That's where we are, and that's where we like to see you.
Yeah.
If you like, subscribe, and share, we can grow this channel and build 2021 into an amazing channel that if we get enough subscription and we get enough shares, I think we will be able to have a positive effect on the Bulls, and they will not suck. Yes.
I don't know about that. It's going to be a long year, man, for the Bulls. I don't know. I mean,
it's not going to be a long year because it's going to be a very short year. This year is going to fly by. It's going to fly by. We're already, dude, you're like the 5th in. It's 72 games, sir.
Yeah, it's going to go by pretty fast, yeah. But look, I don't care if you're drowning in 2 inches of water. No matter how fast that water gets there, it's a long day for you. So
it is a long day. But thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. We are here for you because we provide you joy. We provide you everything you need.
We sound like a Anita Baker song. I give you joy.
We bring you joy because we are the Sizzle.
Yeah.
The talk of the 219. The hottest talk in the 219. We are the 219. And we, for J Sizzle, I'm G Sizzle. We'll see you on the other side.